That Kenya is facing a serious crisis of exclusion and ethnic inequalities is an open secret. The entire public service, according to the NCIC report, is firmly in the hands of some 5 communities. The report indicates that the Kikuyu community is a dominant group in most ministries and departments in government, followed by the Kalenjin. These two, combined with the Luo, Luya and Kamba communities, occupy nearly 70% of the civil service.
Actually, we are embarrassed by the figures that we see. We're embarrassed more because we realize that some Kenyans who live in this country within the territory of Kenya have not had any opportunity to work in the civil service.
Tribalism and corruption have been the methods by which Kenyan politics has been managed.
Just about 20 out of 40 listed Kenyan communities are statistically visible in the civil service. The other 23 have less than 1% presence in the government.
It's a dangerous model by which to run a country that is as heterogeneous as Kenya. And then you introduce multi-party democracy into it, certain communities are automatically marginalised.
Indeed, lately, Kenyans have been treated to some explicit displays of what appear to be cases of nepotism in ministerial appointments. In October last year, Parliament was told of how Medical Services Minister Professor Peter Anyang' Nyong'o appointed Dr. Olongo Onudi, who hails from his Kisumu rural constituency, to be the director of the Kenya Medical Training College, even though his name was not among those shortlisted by the Kenya Medical Board.
After looking at the phonemes, I decided that none of them was appropriate.
Former Industrialization Minister Henry Kosgei also found himself on the spot when he controversially appointed Joseph Kipketer Kosgei to head the Kenya Bureau of Standards. Despite the heat in Parliament, Kosgei took his appointment. Before that, former Sports Minister Helen Sambili found herself in an uncomfortable position when the then chairman of Sports Stadium Management Board, Joe Akech, questioned the manner in which he had appointed Benjamin Sagomo, the CEO of the same board. The replacement of George Muhoho as the director of the Kenya Airports Authority also raised eyebrows. Trade Minister Amos Kimunya appointed Stephen Mwangi Gishuki, choosing to overlook Matthew Wamalwa, the then acting MD. Kimunya also appointed Gashiri Ndua as the director of the Kenya Ports Authority while acting as the Minister for Transport. Indeed, a closer look at appointments and postings of key decision makers in various ministries and departments reveals a picture of ministries or other top technocrats appointing their own to plum jobs in government.
There is nothing new about that model of skewed presidential appointments so that people can sit down and when you're discussing big deals, you're able to speak in your mother tongue.
Recently in Parliament, Gishugu MP Martha Karua questioned the recent diplomatic appointments and specifically questioned why the Prime Minister's former personal assistant Dave Arunga and sister were appointed to represent Kenya in Egypt and Los Angeles respectively. While most of these appointments were perfectly legitimate, it is instructive that those appointed were from the same ethnic communities as the respective ministers or were connected to powerful personalities. The public service should reflect the face of Kenya. Unfortunately, it doesn't, because until now, almost everyone who gets to power, it appears, has stuck to a silent rule coded, "It's our turn to eat."
You eat and you'll be beaten for it in this system. You always pay the price, and the price is paid in blood. And unfortunately, it is paid in the blood of ordinary people.
Sylvia, Chebet, Citizen Live at 9.